2.4 surface area of rectangular and triangular prisms. So when we're talking about surface area, we're talking about the area, an area around a 3D object. So it means that when we take into consideration this piece here, and this piece here, and this piece here, and the back, and the front, and the side, when we add them all up, when we add all the areas together, that is our surface area. Just wanted to remind us of the area of a rectangle. The area of a rectangle is simply length times width. And the area of a triangle is half base times height. So when we look at this rectangular prism right here, what we could actually do is we could find the area of all of these different shapes and add them together. Now you're noticing that there is a space for a formula here, okay? But first I want us to to calculate it the long way, just so that you can appreciate what the formula actually does. So we're going to take into consideration the three different shapes that are in here. So this back and this front, okay, that's one shape, okay? And this side are another shape. And then we have the top and the bottom. The top and the bottom. So when we look at the rectangle that is yellow, so this front one right here, okay, that's going to be 6 by 4. And when we look at this little blue one, we see that it's 3 by 4. And when we look at what should be purple, but it looks kind of orangey, the bottom of the top, we have 6 by 3. 6 by 3. And this is, of course, all in centimeters. Now we notice that of this yellow shape, we have a front and we have a back, so we have to multiply this by 2. This one we have a side and a side, so we multiply this guy by 2. And the top and the bottom, we have to multiply this area by 2. Oh, I love how I said 2. Oh boy. We're just going to do that. There we go, times 2. So when I look at the area of this shape, I'm going to say 4 times 6 times 2. And the reason because of the 2, because there are 2 of those shapes, and the 4, we're just doing length times width. So when I do here, 4 times 6 is 24, times 2 is going to be 48, and we always have to keep in mind what our units are. Since it's centimeters, and since we have a length and a width, it becomes centimeters squared. Now a really common mistake here is that people are going to square this number. It's not a squared number, it's just that the units are squared because we multiply a centimeter by a centimeter. Now this one right here, the area of the blue shape is going to be 4 times 3 times 2. And again, that 2 because we have 2 of them. So that's going to be, the area is going to be 24 centimeters squared. And then this last one, the area is going to be 6 times 3 times 2. And again, 2 because we have 2 of these shapes. So 18 times 2 is going to be 36 centimeters squared. So when we want to find our total surface area, we're going to say 48 plus 24 plus 36 for a total of 108 centimeters squared. So I'm going to show you the other method where we're talking about length and width and height. So if I were to give this right here a length, and this right here the W for width, and this right here the height, I'm going to say the surface area of a rectangular prism is going to be 2 times length times width plus 2 times width times height plus 2 times height times length. So I'm just going to copy down this information here. I'm going to say my length is going to be 6 centimeters, my width is going to be 3 centimeters, and my height is going to be 4 centimeters. I'm just going to copy down this formula here. So surface area of a rectangular prism, that's kind of a sad rectangle, but I hope you see what I mean by that. 2 times length times width plus 2 times width times height plus 2 times height times length. Except for this time, what I'm going to do is every single time I see a length, I'm going to put 6. And every time that I see a width, I'm going to put a W. Every single time I see a height, I'm going to put 4. So I'm going to say 2 times 6 times 3 plus 2 times 3 times 4 plus 2 times 4 times 6. And I get 36 plus 24 plus 48. Which, interestingly enough, look, 48, 48, 24, 24, 36, 36. So that's going to be 108 centimeters squared. Just like we did when we used the other method.